We live in an amazing world, full of wonderful people, doing incredible things, and I'm going to show them to you. I'm Doug Metcalf. Welcome to Positively You.
My goal is to be seamless in life and to be the same with you. I think you said that with you or the person that's the janitor or the person that's the CEO. I want to hear their story. I want to find out where they're at and maybe say some things or do some things that maybe can lift them up and help them be the best they can be.
And welcome to Positively You. I am here with a really awesome man. This is Buddy Curry. We've known each other for, what you were saying, what was it, 2002?
Mm-hmm.
Since 2002, 22 years we've known each other. And this man has done more for young lives than anybody I really know. He's how many kids and pros have you done?
We've done over 375 kids and pros camps and events, as well as small group training all over the country.
That's thousands and thousands of lives that you've impacted. And it all started back in these days, putting the helmet on. Tell us a little bit about your career and kind of where you started and how you got into kids and pros.
Well, I played with the Falcons 8 years, so I played 22 years of football. And then after my career, I moved my family back up to North Carolina and started a career in transportation. And I stayed there for 10 years and really realized that is not what I wanted to do, not what I was kind of geared for. So I moved my family back, and as soon as I did, I reconnected with a former teammate, Bobby Butler, and I saw him coaching a group of kids. And at the end, he was talking to them, and the kids were starry-eyed and looking at him in every word he said. I said, Bobby, we can do some really good things for kids and families. And so we started the idea of Kids and Pros. And so we wanted to tie football camps, not just training kids on the techniques of football, but we wanted to tell them and teach them about the core principles for success in life. And our 5 principles were sportsmanship, integrity, excellence, perseverance, and teamwork.
It really struck me because when I went to, we worked together. We were helping sponsor that first camp, I believe, at the company I was working with. And we spent a lot of time doing some media work and things. You didn't just bring in some like light athletes either to work with you on this. Name some of the people who've worked with you along the way, some of the pros that you've brought in along the course of this.
Oh boy. I mean, we, in Atlanta, we're talking about Billy White Shoes Johnson. We've had Gerald Riggs, some of the all-time Falcon great, William Andrews. And then as we move out and about, like we did one in Tallahassee, Florida, and we had 8 current or former FSU Hall of Famers on the field coaching the kids. I was just...
And that was Bobby's influence.
That was Bobby's
influence. That's where
influence.
Bobby came from.
And then we went to my hometown, Danville, Virginia, and we had a kid, my high school teammate, that he knew a bunch of kids up at Virginia Tech. And then we had like 10 Virginia Tech kids that came down and coached. And of those, probably 6 or 7 of them played in the NFL. And so it's just everywhere we go, we've attracted guys that really care about kids and want to give back to the community.
Why did you start this? I mean, it was a big endeavor. I mean, that was kind of a big jump to all of a sudden, hey, we're going to start doing football camps and this is going to be our business. What drives you to do that?
Well, when I saw those kids' eyes fixated on Bobby Butler, I said, these kids will listen to former NFL players. We have the platform. It's kind of what they think is cool, what they want to do. And so let's give them a message to help them transition to life and as they mature and help them to learn what it's all about and recognize the inculcated skills that they get while they're playing football. And so the overall passion was to get in front of these kids and to get high character NFL players in front of the kids. One of the neat things is that not everybody will want to coach kids. The guys that coach with us normally are great husbands and fathers. You know, they're really good in business. They've made the transition from sports to business to regular life, and we want to teach these kids about that. And probably the highlight of our events are the story time. We call it the game changer message, where we have each player tell the kids and the parents their story. And really, we don't want to talk about how much money we made or how many awards or touchdowns. We want to talk about what you overcame in life and how that has made you who you are today. And then how you overcome many times was you use the foundational principles you learned from playing football.
Yeah. I think when you're talking the money and that, back when you guys were in the game, I mean, I remember talking to Paul Hornig one day, and he goes, "Man, I would love to trade my $35,000, which they're getting a day, for what they're getting in 1 year." He said that would be great, but that's what I was getting back then. And he's a legend, you know, and it was a legend. But you know, that's the thing. People look at it for money, for fame, for, hey, I get the girls, the cars, and all that. And I think that's kind of one of the things that with NIL we're seeing a little bit of. But what really I see is, like, you know, what you guys were doing, what Nick Saban did, and things like that. It's all about character to some of the people. And I think that's the players that I see rise. Like, I'm friends with Shandon Sullivan. He played for, you know, Pittsburgh and also the Green Bay Packers and the Eagles, also at Georgia State. But it's all about character, and it's about getting out of that. You know, okay, we did that for one season. Okay, we're out of that. We're not into that anymore. What kind of things do you instill with the kids so even they don't have that one season, and preparing them for things like NIL? Because I mean, you give a 18-year-old millions of dollars, you know, it's just a recipe for a disaster.
Well, preparing for the NIL and preparing for the NFL, I'm out. Okay, I don't want to do that because I think giving a 17, 18-year-old millions of dollars is not good for that individual. There's nothing wrong with him making it, but you give him that money unleashed, and I think that's a recipe for disaster. And now it's become so important for people to get a Division I scholarship. Therefore, they're going to get NIL money, then go to the NFL. That I think we've become business people. Parents have become business managers, especially of the top kids. And so these kids are kind of going through the structure and the strategic plan that their dad or their whoever their person is that is helping, quote, helping them, which they're also helping themselves. And so they're going through that. Do they really enjoy football? Do they really enjoy to compete? One of the greatest things about football is that I could lose myself no matter what was going on in my life. I could focus it on that particular play, and there's a guy in front of me that I'm going to whip his butt, right? And then I'm going to make the tackle. At that moment, I don't have a wife. I don't have a mom and daddy. I don't have kids. All I got is this mission. And I am going to win. I'm going to figure out how to win. And you lose yourself, and you're able to get in that moment. So many of us at the present time, we don't understand how to get in the moment, how to be present, right? And so the things we're missing now is do kids really enjoy it to compete? Is it something they want to do versus this is a business move? You know, how many adults you know that they work just for the money?
True.
There's no heart in it. It's just I'm doing what I got to do to make the money. And the more money I make, the more I feel better about myself and I esteem about myself, which, golly, if people would understand, you find out what you're passionate about, what you're good at, what God has kind of connected you with, and boy, it brings about fulfillment in life.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's about what's your passion, and that's one of the things. I mean, this is a passion project of mine. Is Positively You, and I think that's why I really wanted you to be on this show. You are probably one of the most positive people I know, and your integrity and how you work with the kids and the business leaders and everybody. You treat everybody on the same level. And you could be sitting there, hey, I'm a Falcon. Hey, treat me better than everybody else. But you don't. And Bobby doesn't, and Billy White Shoes didn't. I mean, he was trying to steal nachos from my kid. Not really. Billy would never touch a nacho, but he was messing with my kid, just making it welcome. And I think that's what you do a lot with this whole thing is, we're just people, and we're all on the same plane. And yes, you got to do something really fun and play in front of a lot of people, be on TV, and you got to tackle some pretty amazing athletes. Um, which kind of brings me to a thing. What was your most memorable play that you ever had when you were in the league?
Well, golly, it would have to be an interception or a fumble recovered for a touchdown. All those memorable are memorable experiences for me, right? But my rookie year in the NFL, the team before with the Falcons, I think their record was 6-10 or 7-9, and they were kind of average or below average. The Falcons kind of always had been. And then here I come as a rookie, and we had a great offense. Our offensive line was really an outstanding. You got Steve Barkowski, you got Lynn Kane and William Andrews, you got Alfred Jackson, Alfred Jenkins, and Warren Bryant. You had another rookie at tight end. I mean, they were fantastic. And here we are at 12-4 in NFL, and we ended up playing best record in NFL. We got a bye, ended up playing Dallas Cowboys. And we're beating the Dallas Cowboys pretty soundly until the fourth quarter. Imagine that.
Ooh, don't even want to talk about fourth quarters in the Falcons, do we?
But so that experience and watching the guys that have played a long time, watching them finally get an opportunity, and they got up and they kind of gave a pep talk and what their experience was like. And I felt like I was 5 feet off the ground playing that football game because I not only wanted to play it because it was what I did, but I want to play it for them.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. I mean, there we are. Again, your selflessness. That is an amazing trait. Where does that come from?
I think there's a part of it that's innate. I'm not a type A person. I can be a type A person in leadership, but I want to please. I want to do a great job. I realize in order to do that, it's better to do that as a team and as a person. But probably most importantly, I work on it. I am constantly doing self mindset training, self improvement, self awareness. I'm talking with people, and I want to see how I work, how it works in life, so that I can better impact people that I'm around and speak with.
So you're constantly working at yourself, constantly progressing, constantly growing. I know you work on your health, obviously, constantly, and that's something I've known since I've met you. You're very conscious of your health. Your family is as well. How important is health and mind, body, spirit to you and everything that you do?
Well, there's a saying that says, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so one of the challenges of life is to be seamless. How you are on Monday night is the same way you are on Friday morning or Sunday at church or at your business and negotiations is you're the same. And versus I got to be real tough here, then I'll be lenient here, or we are kind of evaluators, and also we mimic people that we know and we like and we think are successful. So my goal is to be seamless in life and to be the same with you. I think you said that with you or the person that's the janitor or the person that's the CEO. I want to hear their story. I want to find out where they're at and maybe say some things or do some things that maybe can lift them up and help them be the best they can be.
What a great way to live. What a great way to live. How has that impacted your whole family, your life going forward? I mean, that positive attitude, that consistency, what has that done for you? I mean, because a lot of people, there's a lot of different paths from the NFL, and you've seen them. You've seen either they go, we spent all this money and we've lived this high life, and now we don't have it, and now we're depressed and sad. But the guys that I see that are around you, the Stacey Baileys, the Bobby Butlers, Billy White's, you guys all are that kind of consistent, and you all are driven. We were talking a little bit before this about trying to keep the legacy going and trying to find people who can keep up with what you guys do is a difficult thing. And so how is that? I mean, how is that impacting you as you move to the next chapter of life and things like that?
Well, I can tell you that I'm the most blessed. Now I'm being selfish. The most blessed person on the earth, and the years and years and years and years that I've sowed the character traits that we teach kids, and I've sought to live out the principles. In many things, we join an organization or a movement, and we go and we protest, or this is what I stand for. I made a decision that I want to be the answer. I want to live the answer. So if somebody needs help, I'm not going to go to the organization. I'm going to go try to do it myself, or whatever else I can do to help, right? And so what that's brought for me, and I'll say this, from my family standpoint, it's more blessing than I could ever would have ever dreamed of. I never dreamed of living in a house like this. I never dreamed of a family that is as strong and tight as we are. Not perfect at all, but strong and tight, and I can see us growing. And really, it's a function of the leader, and I'll say yes, function of me, and then my wife, who's been a big part of it. And so it's so important for me to number one, live my life in front of my family, which I have tried to do, and then watch them grow and help them as they grow. So what you're doing is you're replicating yourself through the people that are closest to you, that are going to hopefully go by your lifestyle and your principles.
Well, I've met a lot of your kids, and I've met your wife. You got a great family. That is for sure. You are a blessed man.
Very thankful.
And buddy, I really thank you so much for, first of all, your friendship, and second of all, being on this Positively podcast, because I know you're going to help a lot of people out there. The things you've just said, I mean, that's who you are, and that's the message we want to continue to carry on here at Positively You. And you know what I'm going to tell you. Have a great day, but above all, stay positive.